Start streaming. Okay. So, does the stream work? Is it going online? Ha ha ha! It says we're starting the stream. That's very cool. I also need to record this. Okay, yeah. Video is up. Let's go ahead and post this to the socials. So I know there's a stream link here somewhere. Nice. And we'll do this, and then we'll get the project set up, and then we'll be good to go. Okay, send to these places. Oh, gosh darn, can't hit the apostrophe. Yeah, that sucks. Let's do a better one. Goodness, I cannot type whenever there's potential for people to be watching. Grading. Okay, so that goes to socials. Send now. Cool. All right. And hey, look at this. Marcus is here. How's it going, man? VFX Todd. Like, I'm starting to like recognize people. This is wild. This is absolutely wild. Okay, let's still get this set up. Let me take my phone out of my pocket so I don't get cancer. So that's rocking and rolling. Nice. Oh man, there's like people here. Cool. All right. All right, let's import some footage. And let's see. There we go, live. Live stream. And see this. Goodness, sorry I'm not particularly organized. I'm sort of like in the middle of a project. And we'll see. They didn't tell me I had to get it done by today, but like it's sort of implied. And I could totally do it. I just forgot to render 150 of the frames last night. So another computer upstairs is rendering those frames while we do this live stream. Okay. So yeah, footage is in here. It didn't keep the folders. That sucks. Let's try and re-import this in a more fun way. So this is, put it in this disk this time. Good for me. That'll make it faster. This guy. Now I should be able to import. No, I want to import the folders. I'll just make my own because I don't feel like dealing with it. Admin. And I was sure that it just worked to drag in before, but I guess not. Cool. Drag under master. Are you kidding me? Ugh, goodness. Everyone's so much smarter than me. Oh, jeez. Jeez Louise. Thank you very much, Todd. I appreciate it. Okay. Nice. So now we're rocking and rolling. I believe that the first person to send me stuff was Roman. I'm not sure if you hear Roman, but he sent me some cool footage. A shot on anamorphic. So that's always fun. You can see the anamorphic adapters sort of in the shot, but that's no problem. Can we mute this? I'll just turn off. Oh, that is off. Nice. We won't have to deal with that. I'll have to deal with it, but you guys won't. Okie dokes. So we'll do the one with the person in it because that's more fun. So the first thing that we'll do is go into our clip attributes, and I'm only selecting one just because we're only going to use one. And I think he said this was 2:1. Let's see how that looks. Yep, that looks about right. Sweet. Okie dokes. And now I'm not worried too much about like timeline settings or stuff since this isn't a real project. We're just sort of goofing around. So we're just going to scale this up and make this. I should make the timeline. Now I'll just keep the blanking on for 2, 3, 5 to 1. I'll just scale it up until it looks good. So scale it up to there because we've got a bunch of mixed media in here. So we're just going to sort of get it going until it looks good. Uh-oh. Hopefully you guys didn't hear whatever RF noise that was that just happened. Hopefully my computer didn't just break. Okay, cool. So I like this shot. It looks cool. Sweet. So let me pull up the email because I think that he had some stuff that he wanted me to do with this. Where did my cursor go? There it is. And let's turn on the reference monitor. And email. Apologize for being a little bit disorganized, but you know, that's what these live streams are fun, is we edit out, or we don't get to edit out all the other stuff. And this was Roman. Nice. Okie doke. Shot in S-Log2. Used the Koa 8Z 2X stretch anamorphic scope adapter thing paired with the 44 Helios 58 lens, 44-2. Vintage style look. Let's save this. Today is the 24th, right? Good enough. This was, yeah, Marcus, he sent me a little bit of info on that. So make sure there's no like important information in here that he won't want me to show on the internet. If I just zoom in, that'll crop out other stuff. There we go. So here's the technical info for those of you who wanted to know. And so that's that. Sweet. Okay, so now let's get going. So it said like a sort of vintagey look. This was shot cool. I really want to make this warm, but you know, the scene sort of dictates that it'll be cool. So let's play around some. Let me make sure that my audio is muted. I think there's a way to do that in the color page, but you know. Okay. So let's play this through real quick. Oh, that's the wrong button. Used to Blender. Hitting Alt-A. That's the worst part about like doing a bunch of different stuff is everything has different hotkeys. So like it's Alt-A in Blender to play, it's space in everything else to play. And you can see I was just in Blender before. I should probably exit that out. Is that? No, it's resolve. Okay, cool. So yeah, let's just sort of get our primary grade going here. My instincts are telling me to use color space transform, so I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to sort of go in the normal way. And this one I sort of feel like using curves, actually. So I'll normally just use the primary wheels for primary stuff. But for this one, I'm, especially for like a lot of Sony, for a lot of Sony footage, I tend to go with the curves just because S-Log's a little bit funny. For some reason, it shouldn't be funny, but a lot of people seem to think it's funny, including me. It's got like this weird papery quality to it. That and a lot of like Canon from the C-series cameras have like this weird, I don't know if papery is the right word, but it's what I would say as. So now it gets me a little bit more reasonable. And we want to keep it, you know, sort of vintagey so you can still see like some vignetting from the adapter in there. I feel like this should be a little punchier or something. I tend to grade pretty punchy anyway. So I'll just like keep layering on stuff until we make it, you know, feel about like what it should be. So we got this going, and I might just do another thing on top of it. Like, the thing that I'm currently having an issue with in my mind as I sort of think this grade through is it's sort of an overcast shot, but I want to make it brighter, so I'm having to keep reminding myself to keep it down a little bit on the underexposed side, because otherwise I'd put it, you know, maybe about there, which is, it's too bright for the shot. It doesn't look good, but that's like sort of where I'm wanting to go. So I'm just trying to hold myself back and keep it from there while still making myself feel okay about what I'm doing. So maybe, yeah, adding more mid-tone contrast like this probably is what I wanted to do. So we've got that going. I want to keep this like a little bit on the simple side. I think the blacks are getting a little bit too crushed down there. And using two curves like this is probably irresponsible, but for some reason it makes sense to me. And there's no rhyme or reason to which one's doing what. It's just sort of one does one thing and another one does another thing on top of it. So sorry, that can't be more specific. Okay, so we've got that going. That's got sort of like a nice vintagey look just from being a little bit flat, but I'm going to try warming it up just so I remind myself it's a bad idea. I can actually use from the new Unnamed Let Pack. They've got a lot of good vintage stuff in here. That looks good. So like this is what I was thinking basically, but I feel like that's too much and that's not right for this shot. That actually feels pretty nice. I might throw a little bit of that guy on at the end. So sorry, these haven't been released yet, but I'm just playing around with them, seeing which ones suck and which ones don't. So this one's good. So you can see that just sort of adds a little bit of warmth without warming up the shot. So I'll probably leave it about like that, but always nice to turn these down a little bit. And then as always, I really like to highlight. I'm assuming that in the context of the narrative, the person is the focus of the shot and is not what the person's looking at. Huh. So I'm not sure if in the edit it would be this shot and then this shot, or if it's this shot and then this shot, because you know they have two different meanings this way. If it's the shots are arranged from this one to this one, we're focusing on the person. If we're arranged from this one to this one, then the subject is the ocean. So once again, just sort of going through what's going through my head now. I'll make the focus. I'll make it so it's the ocean and then the person. So we're sort of focused on this. So maybe there's like some narration going on. When I was growing up, he used to sit on this swing and by the sea, etc. Okay, so I'll just do a quick linear power window here and aspect this way. And there we go, add some softness. I was pretty sure there's a modifier key that you can hold down to do both at once. Yeah, Roger, doesn't this look like a pretty place? I don't know where you're at, but it sure looks nice. I wouldn't mind being there. I mean, I like Nashville a lot, but I do want this to be in the center, and then we'll just add some contrast to the middle. And brighten it up a bit, and then add just a little bit of mid-tone detail. Actually, I'm going to try and be irresponsible first and use contrast pop. This is one of those things that can either be really cool or really terrible. So Belgium. I wouldn't mind going to Belgium. I don't know what's there to do in Belgium. So yeah, I think contrast pop worked there a little bit. So it just sort of adds some focus to our subject here while still keeping that vintage vibe going on. I'm going to try, I think it's a bad idea to take out the green, but it is just a pretty green shot. So I'm just going to see what happens if we move it more towards magenta. Yeah, I don't think I really like that. Maybe just like 1 point. That I don't mind. It gives it a little more. Do I like that? I think it helps the skin but hurts the ocean. So I think I wouldn't have that in there, because the skin doesn't really need any help, because there's not really much of it in here. And just for kicks, let's see how this, since we didn't really do any real secondary stuff. Best beer in the world. What constitutes the best beer in the world? Okay, so edit. So let's drop this other one in here, just so. That's what I get for being lazy in the beginning. Okay. And clip attributes. And CinemaScope. Okie dokes. Edit. And That's pretty nice and short. And then this is 1.74. 1.74. Okay. And we'll, maybe that hand is, yeah, I'll keep the hand in there. Got to get used to Davinci Resolve editing shortcuts. I'm still a Premiere editor, so I wanted to like do those buttons. Okay. Not Fusion. We could do some stuff in Fusion. But like I always say, the problem with good looking footage is there isn't too much you have to do to it, really. So, clips. And in order to apply, for those of you who don't know, in order to apply a grade from a clip, you can select the clip that you're going to, and you can select multiple, and then you can middle click when you want it from. And that looks pretty nice. So I'm not sure. We probably keep that noise in there. Nice. Mobster, I haven't compared the Fusion noise reduction to the Resolve noise reduction. I did use it, or try to use it in a project yesterday. But I don't really know too much about it. I know that the the enhanced version of the spatial noise reduction is like actually very acceptable. Because I had, whoop, that's embarrassing. Because I did, that's the wrong way. There you go. Because I did a project, I shot it and graded it, so I had like a little more insight to what was going on. And the director said, I want it to look like this, no light at all. And then we got it in the computer, and he said, I want there to be light now. So we had to do a lot of noise reduction. And at first, I had it just on faster because I wasn't thinking, and it looked awful. And then this was in Resolve 14, so I think there was still just the better, and just going to better made a huge difference. It like completely saved the film, and now enhanced is even better. So that's pretty cool. Bob Ross for Davinci Resolve, man. That'd be nice. Bob Ross seemed like a cool guy. I need to grow my hair out a little more and get the curls a little bit tighter. But other than that, look at all these happy little bushes in this shot. Okay, so we've rambled on long enough. And wrote me on Instagram. Well, that's the first problem. I don't check any socials at all. Came across the camera shake effect. So every time I add the shake effect, e.g. to an object, I cut it out. There's like a black window, and it's like trapped in it and not really shaking on its own. Do you have an example of what you're talking about, Max? If it's just that it sort of, if you're just getting black on the edges, then you just need to scale it up because you can't synthesize those edges. Yeah, I mean, in fact, especially since the studio version, talking to Mobster now, especially since the studio version is only $300 now, I would pay $300 just for this noise reduction as a plugin. And I'm not sure how much like Neat Video is. Price, Neat Video price. Oh, Neat Video is only like, for OFX, it's $250. So, but yeah, $70 for one license for OFX. I don't know. But yeah. And then you get other cool stuff in Resolve too. And you get I like Fusion's camera tracker better than After Effects' camera tracker. So that's cool. It's a bargain. It's a gosh darn bargain. So good for Blackmagic. And I was talking about the shake effect. You're probably gonna have to scale it up, but if it's like in a domain inside the other window, and I'm not super duper sure. I'm not sure if you're in After Effects or in Fusion, but cool. Let's move on to the next shot because I'd call this happy. I'd be happy with this. Didn't do too much, but I think we did make it a little nicer. I'd watch that in the film for sure, especially with like some nice sound design. One of these days, we'll do some Fairlight tutorials. Okay, so the edit page, we'll just be irresponsible and go straight into number 2, Stefan. Stefan, if you were here, is this really shot on the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema Camera 4K? Because I'd be very interested in that. So he says this is like a selfie shot. He wanted this to be graded like pretty neutral, I believe he said. Pull up this email. Yeah, this is Stefan. And there we go. Nice. So here's the specs for this. BMMCC. Is that the micro cinema camera? Okay. I think somebody else then said they had from the 4K. Maybe not. Yeah, it was someone else that said that they did. It was... Oh, goodness. I tried to say your name before. Z... Hoisinov? You're here. Spell your name phonetically. Hoisinov Film. Is that close? Because you said... Oh, production. Okay. There we go. You answered my question. So, we've got this. I think this looks pretty cool. This is another one from Berlin. The previous one was from Berlin, right? What is up with all these Berlinese people? You guys must just be doing cool work in Berlin. Or maybe, what time is it in Berlin now? Alexa, what time is it in Berlin?
The time in Berlin is
9:26 p.m. Nice. I was talking about your video. Alexa, stop. Sorry if you guys have an echo and it's just going crazy right now. And, okay, that's not something I need to answer. Goodness, all you Berlin people need to just, like, be friends. I wish that I had, like, a good color grading community in Nashville. I'm sure, I mean, there are, like, some good colorists here. I just haven't met any of them yet. So, I don't think. I know they're around. I know they do good work. Okay, so we've got this, and we'll do the same sort of thing. He said he wanted it to be neutrally, but he said something about if he was okay with not seeing his face or if he wasn't. So let me pull up this email again. Natural balanced look doesn't mean that my face has to be visible. It's in the shadow. Okay, so we'll see. So we can do the same sort of thing. Let's get this going. What time of day is this, do you think? And what type of footage is this? Is this raw? Yeah, nice. So the first thing we'll do is change this to clip settings. I'll do highlight recovery. And now, always turn on highlight recovery for your raw footage. So you can see, without it, gross. With it, nice. If we look at the scopes too, you can see just how much extra stuff we get in there. So before and after, you can see we get so much extra stuff. So always click this button. I even do it whenever, like, there's nothing clipping, just in case. Just in case. Austria, nice. Oh, there you go. Some guy from Los Angeles. I feel a little bit better now. There's some Americans here. But I realize it's sort of a weird time in America. People are normally still working. And I should be working too. But this was the time that I could do it today. And I like doing it on Fridays because that feels good. Fridays or Sundays. Okay, so we've started adding some contrast to this. This sort of, I want to do like a, you said like a neutrally thing. I really want to do like a year zero type thing and make it like really dystopian because it's like, it's sort of like framed in this imposing way, like a little Mr. Robot. And there's like some vaguely industrial looking stuff back here. I guess they're just like lofts or something, business buildings. But I thought they were going to be like rice dryers or something. I'm not sure. Does Berlin have a big rice industry? Probably not. I grew up in a town that had a lot of like rice fields. I didn't grow up like in the country though. I grew up in the burbs, but there were like country stuff adjacent in Texas to it. Year zero. Nice. Year zero, so cool. Well, I mean, maybe we'll do both. I mean, we're doing pretty good on time. Nah. So add a little bit of saturation and just sort of start getting this to where we want it. So that's too much. Bringing it back down. I might. It's like a little stormy. So this isn't natural yet. It's a little bit too creamy to be natural. So we fix that. I mean, fix it. We change that by adding a little more mid-tone contrast. So I'll do that just in the luminance channel. It's that, when I say creamy, I mean like you get like that particular airy look on the skin with high dynamic or higher dynamic range cameras like the Blackmagic cameras. That looks really nice and really commercial. But then if you want it to look a little bit grittier, sky replacement with this shot, that would be hard. That'd be hard. I don't want to do hard stuff. I just want to goof off. But maybe I will. We'll see. We only have 4 people that I'm grading today, but I do have like a pretty hard out at 4. So we'll do it normal first. Just want to add, find, really up there. And let's reset this real quick, and we'll grab 2 spots. So grab the highlights on his skin and the lowlights on his skin. And now we can add some contrast in between these two. And then that gets a little more of that grittier, naturaler look. And that gets us a little closer to year 0, even though we're not going that far. So you can see, especially, I'm really focusing on the skin. It does stuff to other things too, but you can see what adding that contrast there. And you saw that's a pretty cool technique of selecting the highlights and the lowlights. Just, you don't have to use your eyes. And that makes it look a little bit less pretty, a little bit less like an airy. It gets it more of like a red look with that extra mid-tone contrast. Bangladesh. Oh, shoot. Oh, people want sky replacement. Do I still have, let me look up. I'm just going on another monitor here so that NDAs do not get breached. So I won't finish saying that brand. Sky replacement. And this is like a bright one, I think. That's the one I ended up using, but there is this one. This one should be right. Okay, that one works. So I don't need to do that. Okie dokes. And cool. So we'll keep this a little more neutral. I'll do a little bit more to this. I want to clean up these highlights so that they aren't magenta. And then we'll drop another sky in there. We'll see how it goes. I know people like their sky replacements. So I should probably do this earlier in the grade. I should probably do it in the camera raw and just set the white balance. That'd be the responsible thing to do. So clip and... Oh, shoot. We got the new color science version. Nice. So I don't need as much saturation. I need to do a video on the color science thing. I saw a thing on it and it was interesting, but I need to like do more reading on it. So custom, and let's back off this saturation some. In here, since you're using color science 4. And there we go. That looks nice, yeah. Nice saturation. It's just these magenta highlights are not doing it for me. Oh, that's not going to work. It's not going to work at all. That ruins the shot. Okay. Looks like we had to do it a different way. It's still a little bit green, though. So I guess we'll bump the whole thing a little more magenta. And there we go. That, I like, it's a little bit yellow, so I guess we need to add blue. So change the color temperature. Cooler. Ooh, I want... That sky's still a little of a funny color, but I think we're closer. Nice. Call Mr. Cameron. Yeah, I agree with Andrew. You can make anything with any camera. Here's the scopes. For those of you who wanted to see it. All the cameras are so good nowadays. So his skin's a little bit cool, but I think that works with this overcast sky. So now we will... I mean, I guess if we're doing a sky replacement anyway, then just say nuts to that and just go right into Fusion and drop in the other one. So let me quick... accidentally closed out of that. Sky replacement. Where was it? I literally just had it. There it is. Cool. Now I can go into Fusion, and this is locked off, right? Nice. And Fusion monitors pre-color, so that's why all of our work is done, or gone. So we've got this. And now this is an interesting thing that I just realized the other day is, or I knew it, but I didn't like grasp it, that the OFX plugins from Resolve are in Fusion. So if you want to do a color space transform, and I think that Fusion has like good built-in color space transform stuff, but it's nice to just use the tools that you know, right? And this is coming from the Blackmagic. Goodness, this was from the Pocket Cinema camera, right? No, Micro Cinema camera. And what does that use? I haven't done any stuff with the micro stuff. Doesn't look like BMD film. Nah, I won't do that. Since I don't know what I'm doing, that will just cause more harm than good. So I will, because I just want to increase the contrast of all the channels before I go into the key, just because that makes the key a little bit happier. I'm just gonna, so we're not gonna end up viewing this guy, but we're gonna be able to take this, then Luma keyer, and view this. Those lows out, the highs in. There's a little bit of, bleed through on the reflections, but we'll see how that looks. So now we can take the channel booleans and get this guy and this guy, and now, oh, this is the wrong channel booleans. I always use the wrong one. There we go, the right one. Now I'll take that, and we will do nothing, that's kind of cool, and do nothing, and I've got the alpha from it. We need to Control T, there we go. So, okay, this will be a good thing to ask the hive mind. Do I need to do something with multiplying the alpha here? Because this always happens whenever I try to do this. Is that like, the alpha looks good in this one, but then it comes in. So do I need to alpha divide or alpha multiply? It'd probably be a multiply, right? Yeah, I don't know. Text into a compound clip. I can try that out. I think I know the problem. But what we can do instead, take this in the channel booleans. That makes more sense. Okay, nice. And view this. Something goofy's going on. Oh, that's why. You drop down to resize. And make this acceptable. Yeah. Come on, hive mind. I need an answer to the alpha problem. This is something that I have like a legitimate question about. Should I just use a matte control? Would that work? Solid matte. Background. Foreground. bitmap. Would that do it? Just problem solving on air. No problem. That seems like it's doing it. Solid mat. Garbage mat. And Control T. Not garbage mat. Effect mat. We just use a merge. Luckily, there's nobody watching this, so it's not like embarrassing that I don't know what I'm doing, right? There we go. Okay. Figured that out. Took long enough. So that looks pretty bad right now. So we will use a mat control before the bitmap. And drop that in. And I'll just restore a little bit of fringe. See if that does what I want it to. Blur. Contract. Expand. There we go. That's a little closer. And now we'll make this guy look less bad, so we'll drop in a color corrector and a blur. Just because it's too sharp. So there, and then we will make this a little more like that, and a little more like that. A little more like that. Yeah, hyperlapse guy would be cool. And so to get this semi-close enough, it's still a little bit bright. But, and like the camera angle is completely off. But if you use like the right clip with this, then you have a sky. So there's a pretty mediocre sky replacement for everyone who wanted it. Yeah, right. I mean, channel booleans should make sense. And they do most of the time. But I'm glad that we figured out this bitmap way in a merge. That's simpler. Cool. So we've got that. We did the sky replacement, and then if we go into our color page, we'll see what this looks like now with color. Oh, we need to like output this, right? That's important. I always forget to do that. There we go. Now in the color page, we'll see what happened. Boop, 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 boop. That held up okay. We could reduce the contrast on the sky a little bit, but I think if we go into our edit page and we see before and after, oh, the color is turned off. D, there we go, and there we go. So I'll say that's good enough for a stylized thing. And if we do like a year zero thing, just for fun at the end, let me Control Y. Then we just like really up the contrast and like reduce the saturation. Oh, people probably still want to see this. Sorry. Any Canadians in the house? That's not racist, is it? When will it be racist to say that sorry is adjacent, Canadian adjacent, synonymous with Canadiacy? Canadiacy, that'd be a cool band name. Canadiacy. So, just really up the contrast. Something more like that. And then reduce the saturation a good little bit. And now we've got that more year zero look. These greens are too green, so we'll ungreen the greens. There we go. Now we've got that dystopian year zero look. And this was Stefan, right? Stefan? Yeah, Stefan. So I send this project to everyone who sent the footage just so they can play around with it. So I put this in a version, Stefan, if you're here. So we have the more normal one and the less normal one. I should probably pull up like QI Press so that people can see what keys I'm pressing, right? Okay, let's move on to the next one. It's only 2:45. Nice, we're rocking and rolling. Sorry that color grading goes like pretty slow when live streaming, just because my head's sort of all over the place. Got that. And number 3 is Manny again. Manny was here last time. So, is this the same shot? No, it's a different shot. Did I remember to get water? No. Okay, let's open up Manny's email. So this was shot on the Ursa Mini 4.6K. So how to color correct and use color space transform? Question mark. Manny's here, right? I think I saw him in the chat. So nice. So color space transform, we can do that. Go to the edit page. And Manny. These clips are both pretty similar, right? Oh, that's cool. Oh, it was just missing a frame. So let's do this. Boop, 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 do. Because that'll be enough to showcase what we're talking about. Hey, there you are. What's up, bud? Okay. Now, color space transform. So really cool guys go from, oh, that's interesting. Look how much better version 4 looks. Version 4 looks so much better. Whoa. So there's version 3, and you see like green and nasty. Version 4. Oh, nice. Wow. Well, that's your key right there, Manny. Change from Color Science version 3 to version 4. Ooh. And are those contacts? Yeah. Okay. So I don't think we need to do any color space transform in here. I think we can just make it look good right off the bat. So get that about there. Let's do some curves again. Let's get a little more control. That rocking. And rolling. And increase this. And I need to reduce some of that mid-tone contrast because the fall off between here and here is not really what I'm liking. So we'll just pull that up a little bit. And that will help that out. Also here. Let's put these more on the linear side. And that's a little bit too much. So add some contrast back in here. To add. That's not taking saturation very well, is it? Just reset this and try again. So I'm not liking that. I'm not liking that. This would be a good example of why you don't do the classic thing of, I remember way back in high school, my film teacher told us when learning how to color correct, you always put the darkest part of the image at 0 and the brightest part at white. And this is a good example of why that is terrible advice. Because if we do that, the image ends up looking like this, which looks like trash garbage. So don't do that. What we want to do is find values for different things in the scene and put the stuff at that. So like I would say, skin, I normally put around 640, and it's right about there. I might brighten it up a little bit, just for kicks. And oh, Max, sorry. Remind me after this one. And let's just try adding contrast the normal way in there. That's kind of nice. I really like the fabric in this shot. I think that works really well with the lights. So that's very cool. The fabric and the hair and all that looks good. I'd really like it if like that part of the scene wasn't in there. But I don't know what the whole scene looks like. We got that. I feel like it needs more saturation, but it is sort of like a monochromatic thing. We see that it's a little bit off of where I would like it to be with the vector scope. And the best way to do that, is that just offset? Yeah, there we go. So I'm just going to offset it so that it's a little bit more in line. So that sort of purples it up. So I think that helps out with a lot of stuff. So that offset trick is a good way to just move your vector scope around. And like maybe just add a little bit of blue to the shadows, since this feels like a narrative thing and people like that. When I say shadows, we'll do this in another node. So this, and let's do our typical orange. I don't know, like the midtones look good. So put this at 0.1-ish and this at 0.3-ish. And there we go. That's fun. And we will try warming up here. I don't think we need it, but we'll try it out. So that's 0.3, 0.5. That works fine. So that might be a little bit much there. And I would like to desaturate these shadows a bit because they're sort of getting polluted with the blue. I'll bring this up too. So like 0.15. That sort of cleans it up a little bit, but then we will go and clean it up even more. The luminance versus saturation. I won't go that far because that normally ends up looking bad. And I can't select it. There we go. So that. Give a little more in there. And that's looking pretty nice. I'll bring these back down, roll them off. And then there's just this wall that I don't like. So we'll see what happens if I just darken it up a little bit so you get a little more focus. And yeah, there we go. That helps out a lot. Nice. Oop. Going on to other clips. Ooh, boy, I'm hungry. I should have eaten something today. So that might be a little bit warm now. Maybe we'll go back to our offset node. Just scoot it a little bit down towards blue. Did you guys hear that? A fly just hit my microphone. That was, I could hear. That was pretty funny. There's a fly in my room too. I was installing security cameras in my house today because I finally found ones that don't look like potatoes, and because like I want to, because I think they're cool and I like being Big Brother. But that let some flies in my house, so now gotta deal with that. The security cameras are mainly just for me yelling at the UPS and FedEx people when they deliver my packages to my neighbors. That sucks. That if I ran for president, my number one thing would be making sure that UPS drivers delivered the packages to my house. That's my only candidacy, my only policy, just for my house. Make sure the UPS drivers get it right. I wonder what happens. Like, what's the procedure for delivering packages to the White House? For those of you not in America, White House is like where our supreme ruler lives. So there's that. I always forget that there are people not in America because I know nothing about other countries. I'm a total bigot. I just don't know anything. But there you go, Manny. I think I like this grade even better than we did last time. So, I mean, this looks like pretty fine, I think. Okay, yeah. And then when we had a text thing, let me scroll up to whatever Max said. If you could just make a text into a compound clip and then add the camera shake effect. It's been weeks now. Okay. So I will add a new solid color to create a fusion clip. Do compound clip. Text shake and hop into fusion. and text plus, and this will be max. And plug this in there. And we'll make this text cooler. What's neon? That's cool. Not really, kind of. We can make that cool. We can make that cool. Okie dokes. So now, instead of doing this on the text node, I'm going to do it in a transform, just so we stay a little more procedural. And we'll right-click on the center, go to Modify With. We'll do Shake, Perturb. Perturb's a funner word to say, so we'll go with Perturb. Yeah, that looks like it's got a noise function in it, so that's cool. And if you go into our Modifiers tab, go to Perturb, Scale, make it like 0.1, 0.1. Speed up. Wobble, whatever that does. Oh, you did it in the color tab with OpenFX? Don't do that. Do it in Fusion. Strength. Tools. Angle. Connect to. Modify with. Surely just connect this to Perturb, right? I guess I need to publish. Perturb. I'll just make a separate one. This is funny. It's funny to me. We'll do Shake this time, just so it seems like we know what we're doing. Whoa. I like this. This is my favorite thing that we've made all day. Woo! Smoothness, none. Whoa. And now we'll add motion blur. Not modifiers. Tools. This guy. Let's save real quick because motion blur likes to crash. Make this 8, so it looks good. White House is like channel booleans. It is like channel booleans. So there we go. This is definitely the best thing that we've made all day. Is this thing with Max's name just having an absolute conniption fit. Nice. Thanks for that. That was good. Okay, so we've got one more thing to do. We're doing good. I think someone said they're going to send me other footage. So we'll probably actually get around to that, which will be exciting. So 3 and then 4. Oh, yes. You're here. We got this. This is a good clip, too. I like this. Where are you at in this one, man? What's up with all these people in the oceans? Jealous. Super jealous. We have a lake here. We've got 2 lakes close to me. But that's about it. And we also have a bunch of country music. Yeehaw. You have a country music tutorial after this. Got my guitar. You guys don't want to hear me play guitar. I'm very bad at guitar. It's just there, so people think I'm good. Okay. Nice. There you go, man. Let's get this. Did you have stuff that you said you want me to do with this? Did you ever spell your name phonetically? Hoisinov? 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 Hoisinov. I guess I can't complain since I also have a last name that's sort of hard to spell. This looks cool. I like this. Czar. There we go. I can say Czar. Cool name. So I sort of like the general contrast in the scene. And you can see it's pretty well contrasted already. So I'll probably make her brighter. We might dive into the new unnamed LUT pack for this one also. So I will add a little bit of saturation. Oh boy, the colors in this look really nice. This is the Blackmagic production camera, 4K. Nice. Looks good, man. Good job. Oh, goodness, what are these? Invert color? Cool. Let's do that. New unnamed let pack. And like these added life ones are really good for like fashiony skin stuff. That's a little much. This is called Ocean Vibes. And has too much. Morning in nature, dark fashion. I think I was intending on using the added life ones. I think I'm going to use one of those just for fun. But I think before that I will try something. Yeah, that looks kind of nice. We just settle this down a little bit. So there's like a little too much going on here, and this will help out whenever we do. We'll leave it at 100% for now, but we'll turn it down because I want to see what happens whenever we do this, which is hue versus luminance. Pick that guy. And there. Whoop. Gain 0. Whoop. I guess I mean 1. Super blue ocean. Yeah. All right, man. Sorry that you have to go. I will upload this to YouTube. It'll probably be up Sunday-ish. We'll see. I have another live stream that I recorded, a Blender one, yesterday, which is a lot of fun. That will be up sometime too. Next week, I am completely booked. I had someone, a company just like, they said, we want to buy a week of your time and you just stay here and do what we say. I was like, if you pay my day rate for 5 days straight, okay. And they said, okay. This isn't doing what I want it to. I mean, it kind of is, but not really. This would be easier to do in 3D LUT Creator. Or, this will probably break everything. Okay, I'll save. Because this has crashed my computer in the past. Or not my computer, it's crashed Resolve. My computer's been fine. It's Resolve's fault. L. And now in this one, we will change this to Monochrome. We'll need to denoise this a little bit, obviously. So do this in here. I mean, really, we don't even need to do that since we're just using this as an overlay. So I can just save some CPU and it's really blur it because it doesn't need to be sharp. And then this one, composite mode. Probably want something like screen, and then I'll just turn it way down. So this will be a little glowy since we denoised it. But if we turn this down, there we go. And that sort of brightens her up a little bit, and we can go a little bit more hardcore on this if we want to. Screen, add some nice contrast in there. Let's go higher. Just curious. Oh, we can't enter in values manually. So if you want this to be sharper, then you can denoise it. I'm not sure if I really like that at all. Maybe we'll just do this like the right way. Oh boy, that got dark. So this will be a little nicer way of doing that. Okay, and then bring this in a little more. Now, just brighten her up. We'll put this guy back on and we'll turn it down because it's too much. Too much tuna. Does anyone here watch Kroll Show? Great show. Nice. Adds a little bit of niceness. C.S. Wilson, I very much built my computer. Yeah. I like building computers, but whenever things screw up and they say, please contact system administrator, it kind of sucks when that's you. But, oh man, it's so nice to have like a serious computer. Now, that's going to be one thing that sucks about next week is I have to work on an iMac Pro. Ugh. Gross. Okay. We'll add some saturation here. Really want to keep this one a little bit more on the subtle side. Maybe I will. No, I don't want to add that much. I want to get her brighter, but I don't want the scene to be brighter. And I've sort of done as much secondaries as it'll tolerate. That might be good enough. I don't think I'd be distracted if I saw that in a movie. I would like more highlight, but I'm not sure if I would actually do that in a project whenever I was billing hourly. Can we select these somehow? I don't like the face tracker. It's just not really conducive to my workflow. Let's try. Let me just for fun, we're on a live stream. We've got a little bit of time. Try. Could we? Would this work? No. It would work. Okay. Cool. Let's get this to a little better frame. Let's get this looking halfway where we want it to be. Okie dokes. And point tracker. Now we will do a cloud tracker. Just be lazy. This should work fine. Should work fine. We'll keep all this stuff on. Yeah, that totally works fine. That works great. That's better than the point tracker. 3D stuff actually worked. Amazing. Amazing. There's props to software engineers everywhere that can like do math and stuff. Oh. We'll add a little bit of a keyframe there. So we'll change this to frame. And add a little keyframe. And a little keyframe. And add a little keyframe. Okay. So now we'll get this to another spot there. And just increase the brightness here some. So you can actually like see what's going on. And we'll soften that out like way more. There we go. Just so I want some amount of light there. So I don't think we get too much of a halo effect. And it works. We got a little bit there. I think that works. It's pretty nice. It's more pimping out the new unnamed LUT pack that'll be out eventually. Just sort of really does nice stuff to her skin there. Like put some blood in it, which is good. Nice. The best music videos on YouTube, I use one GTX 1080 Ti, one GTX Titan X, 12 gigabyte, one GTX 1070. I think now I have the 1070 turned off because I was doing a project earlier that needed a lot of video memory, and Resolve limits you to the lowest amount of video memory that you have in a card. So since the 1070 is only 8 gigabytes, it was limiting me to that, and I needed more of the full 11 gigabytes of the 1080 Ti. But that's that. It does give you a little bit of performance improvement. It's not like super duper worth it. It's better to do better single card performance than buying multiple cards. But nice. Good. Horse time. I'm glad that we had a similar idea. It makes me feel good. It's pretty nice standard look. People would like. Good color real stuff. People would be like, good. You can make it orange teal. Media. Was there one more, or is there a download that I'm doing? There is. Okay. So Alexander said that he was uploading the footage now. So since we do have a few minutes, I haven't got an email yet, Alexander. Oh, a light gradient. Light gradient or a light gradient? I agree. I think that would be cool. Let's do that. Let's do it. And we'll just add it here. And let's delete these emails. And there we go. I 100% agree with you, man. That is a good idea. That helps out. That really opens up the image. And we'll make this side a little bit warmer. And Alt-O, make this side a little bit cooler. And let's drop the lift down on this side a little bit. Yeah, man, I can be into that. Cool. All right, Alexander says his upload will be done in 1 minute. Oh, man. So until then, anyone have any good jokes? Good stories? Any nightmare projects that they want to rant about? Those are always fun. Those are always fun. Oh, Alexander has a nightmare project? Do share. Tell me more. Cool. Oh, goodness, my face is totally covering the scope. Someone needed to yell at me about that. I think you have different headphones than these. These are sort of like off-brand headphones. These are the ones that I'll do if I'm doing like a convention or any sort of like event stuff, because my nice mixing headphones broke. So new ones are in the mail. And I don't like use headphones that much anymore since I have like nice speakers. Adam A7X, highly recommend. Oh, so good. So good. Great speakers. Yeah, I forgot where I was going with these. But new headphones are in the mail. I should definitely check out that Instagram. That'd be funny. Frame precise changes and endless logos and lower thirds. Sounds about right. Oh man, I know all about that. Being very specific about what you want and not knowing what you want. I had a client like that, and I eventually was like, "Hey, I can't do work for you anymore, man. I'm really good at putting up with difficult people, like people that it's like really particular. Oh man, my QI press didn't show up in the right screen. But people that just suck. I don't care how many revisions they pay me for. I just don't want to deal with that. Okay. Just real quick, just I'm curious. What are you talking about? These are awesome rigs. These are so good. Oh, that's this is great. These people are innovators. No, that's awesome. These guys have great ideas. This is a misnamed Instagram page. It's so good. I like this. Okay, so we got some footage. Downloading now. Someone asked, how do I find clients? Really, it's mostly just like word of mouth stuff. I found really a lot of it comes from one company I just like talked to randomly in college. I did a really good job for them. They recommended me to people who recommended me to people who recommended me to people. And I just keep doing good work. And people keep hiring me for stuff. And then also there's an internship that I had. And the lady that hired me, her husband was helping build out a photography studio. And the owner of that I helped build out that photography studio since I knew about that. And I can do like manual labor pretty good. And the owner of that studio is just like an amazing guy and, you know, got me a lot of stuff too. And I help him out with other things like Premiere and stuff. Because that was back whenever like, ooh, 22 weeks, 10 episodes, 45 minutes each. You're the only Adam. Everything is done fully. Oh. I feel bad for you, man. Procore, PK. Oh, jeez. Jeez Louise. Sorry I can't pronounce your name either. I can't say anything. But boy. Just good for you for sticking in there. Let's put this on hard drive. That would help. That would definitely help. Live stream. I can feel it starting to get close to the end of the stream. Okay. And this is from Alexander. 5 is normally good. Then we also did the amazing text animation, which was also good. I like this clip. This is a good one. Turned out good. Okay, Alexander. And now we know how to click and drag into this guy. I need to make a video on all the things that I've learned from people in live streams. Just okay. I see what's going on here. So we want to do a scene cut detection and auto scene detect. Boop 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 boom. Ooh, drill rigs, oil rigs. I like oil rigs. It's a good shot of firefighter. Hopefully you can't see like confidential information on her security badge. I won't zoom in on that just in case that's something you need to blur out, because criminals could very easily take that and create fake stuff from it. Nice. So we just won't use that clip at all. We'll just use the fireman and this guy. So what are you wanting done with this, Alexander? I mean, this shot doesn't really need... I mean, you can just throw this in right now and be fine. It looks like a corporate video. Like, add a little bit of contrast and take away a little bit of pasty white guy syndrome, and you're good. this one shot needs more stuff going on, so we'll do that. Scene cut, please. A6300. I like that camera. Cool camera. I think it is. It's the one I'm thinking of, right? Yeah, I think my dad has that camera. Good camera. So this looks pretty nice. I like the color in this a lot. It's cool. Yes, drilling. I watched a documentary on an oil rig the other day. It's cool. I had some friends that worked on oil rigs. Being from Houston, Texas, there's a lot of oil and gas going on there. So I just sort of darken this guy back down. That's too much. That feels about right. Good. I don't want to do that with gamma. I want to do that with curves. Just bring this up to about where it needs to go. And let's see, we'll lock down like the shirt probably. Nice. So that's pretty close. I mean, we probably won't be able to fix the fact that he's staring straight into the sun, it looks like. Oh, this is something about like these colors I like a lot. It's just, we don't need to do too much grading. This will just be more of like color correction. So, there's something about that profile I'm into. I'm just into it. So we'll get rid of a little bit of the pasty white guy syndrome. FS7 on the side angle and A6300. I do save the live streams on the YouTube channel. So you can see last week's on the YouTube channel. And this week's will be up there too. Probably around Sunday-ish. We'll see when I get it done. I'm like pretty busy coming up. You can tell I'm going to be pretty busy because like I wasn't that busy like the last week or so. Just I put up a bunch of tutorials just like to keep myself busy. But now it's just like it always is. It's you're either working a crazy amount or not a crazy amount. So we will warm this up. Here we go. Give him a little bit of a tan. Let me blur this out even more and maybe even expand it some. There we go. Fixes the pasty white guy syndrome a bit. I mean, unless we like go really into like, yes, I saw an interview with I think it was J.K. Rowling, and they just went like crazy with power windows and stuff. And I was like, this is kind of cool. It's too much for an interview. I feel like it kind of seemed like they watched too many Mutant Media tutorials, especially like earlier ones. What if I was doing way more light leaky stuff? But it was pretty cool. It was just too much. And I tend to do too much a lot of the time. So I got to feel like I'm earning my money. Because I'm not the cheapest guy in the world. Luckily enough. There we go. Now he's got some light on his face. And we'll increase the saturation a little bit. Also not the most expensive guy in the world. Can I remove the tattoo? Not for free, I can't. If you're going to pay me to do that, I'll do it. You want to try the auto correction button? We'll try it. Control Y for new version. Reset all grades and nodes. Auto. I like mine better. The mine's a little bit purpley. So we can change that. I should do this after the key. So I already keyed. So Alt S. Let's move the offset a little bit green. Not that much. That's too much. We'll just offset the shadows to green. I think that's just where the magenta is bothering me. Yeah. Might be a little bit too much also. Just bring it down in the opacity. Nice. There we go. You could try and use the paint function in Fusion to remove the logo, but like this isn't a, I mean, yeah, you could track this, but this would just be with like this 3D movement. It would be much harder than you may think. Though, let me tell you something. Here's the best way to do it. I'll give you this sort of tattoo removal for free. We can even do this in the edit page. Check this out. It's going to blow your mind. Wow, the easiest way to remove the tattoo. Gone. No more tattoo. So, I mean, the framing's not as nice, but no more tattoo. And it saves you a lot of money and time. Okay. So I think you could still like refine the skin a little bit more. I like this better magenta than green. I'm taking that back out. But I think that's totally fine. I feel like you'd actually look similar to that in real life. Yeah, if I saw that, I wouldn't be mad. Yeah, next time wear a long sleeve shirt. That's it. Yeah, it would be nice to have less sensitive wheels in Resolve. There's just like a button for it. But I think Resolve or Blackmagic wants to sell you their panels. Which is understandable because I mean the software is only $300 and it's way more than $300 worth of software. Wanting to get the firefighter shot darker and moodier. Okay. This is a firefighter shot. Yeah. Yeah, darker and moodier. Maybe some extra moodiness, and we will. Quick one of these guys. And blur this. And some mid-tone detail. And then I'll actually use a color compressor for this. Because for some reason I feel like that'll work a little better. So this will get us close, and then I'll just shift this hue. About there. Compress hue. Oh, that gets that a little nicer. Maybe even overall. Whoop. Is that the right way? Yeah. And we can probably also just like reduce the overall red saturation. Or we go to try this first. Yeah, that works. There we go. And look, if you want to go even more moody, then we can just like just go like full hardcore metal music video with this. go. And that's like pretty, it's got like a little bit of that like Hasselblad portrait color going to it, but it's been like run through, what's it called? What's it called? What's it called? I used to have this plugin, but then I lost it. It's a topaz effect. Oh, it's that one topaz effect. Hey, I could add a vignette. It doesn't super need a vignette. Gosh darn, that one topaz effect that you can see. Like once you use it, you see it everywhere. And the midtone detail is basically just like the Resolve version of that. Are there any firefighters that aren't really nice guys? I feel like that's just like you never hear stories of like douchebag firefighters since they're like heroes and stuff. There's your vignette. And just for fun, we'll hit Alt-O. Add even more contrast. He looks like my old drumline instructor, Joel. Okay, I'll take a look at the grade that you sent by mail. I'm still not super into showing like the badge. Yeah, man, I think it looks good. It's pretty moody. I feel like these walls should be like less blue. They're sort of like really drawing my eye there. But I think she looks good. Maybe just like less saturation and overall color contrast on the walls. But yeah, I think it looks cool. Add some fire in the background, most definitely. We'll just open up Blender here or we'll open up Houdini and we'll do some sweet pyro effects. No, but I think that's good. I think we've done a good stream today. Oh, he's not really a firefighter? Imposter. I guess his jacket doesn't match his helmet, so maybe that's a thing. I don't know too much about firefighters. Oh no, they do match. I saw this as a 5 before. Boy, live streaming really takes it out of you. All right, so yeah, I think I'm gonna call it. We've gone through all the footage that I got sent, and I think all the requests that we had. If you have any quick last minute questions, I'll stay on for like a minute or two, but then we'll call it good. Ugh, and I can take a nap before my next thing. All right. Give it 1 minute. 3:35. HDR grade. If it's just like an HDR look, I normally just go with, basically that sort of thing and then bring it back out, but like better. But like actual HDR grading has like is complicated, and I don't want to get any misinformation out there about it until I like really understand the monitoring situation for HDR. For how many years have I been in the business, and when I start making it, how much storage do you use? On this computer, there's a 512 gigabyte NVMe drive for most stuff, and then there's two 1 terabyte SSDs in RAID 0 for working projects. And then there's like a 3 terabyte backup just for local stuff. And then upstairs, there's a storage server, which is connected via 10 gigabit Ethernet. And that has something like 24 terabytes of RAID 5+1 storage. And then a little SSD boot drive. And that'll eventually get upgraded to something a little more substantial. But especially since I'm doing less production work and more post-production work, I'm not needing to upgrade the amount of storage as much. Because before I'd be shooting, 500 gigabytes to a terabyte a day pretty easily. I started making videos in high school. I started getting paid a senior in high school. Did it all throughout college, and then my junior senior year, I started being like doing pretty good at it money wise, and college wasn't doing anything great. Or I mean, it was fun, but you know, just learned all this stuff through the internet. So I went to college for audio engineering, and then I stopped going to college, and then worked really hard coming out of there, and like made good money, and then bought a house, and then a couple years later, it's still just rocking and rolling, just doing my thing. And a lot of work just comes from my skill set is I like to do a lot of the more technical stuff that creative people don't really want to learn. So I work with a lot of creatives and then just like translate what's in their brain onto the screen. So that's sort of my niche. So I did a lot of After Effects stuff. That's how I met a lot of people, motion graphics and things like that. Color grading I really didn't do too much of until the YouTube thing. It was just something I knew how to do from fixing my own footage. I didn't really get like color grading work that much. I did like a little bit, but I didn't do too much until like the YouTube thing. And the people were like, well, this is the guy I know. So most of the business for a long time was editing and motion graphic stuff. And now we're doing less editing and more doing motion graphic stuff just because, I mean, there's like two other people doing like really high end motion graphics in Nashville. So it's pretty easy to get really good jobs in that. If someone sends me a 4K pocket camera, I'll do a video on it. If someone sends me footage from it, then I'll definitely do a video on that because that'll get some views. I'm not sure how much I mean, if you're making money from Resolve, then $300 is pretty easy to justify, I'd say. My favorite grade that I've done, no idea. Yeah. But yeah, I think that's good. Thanks everyone for hanging around. It's always fun. It makes me feel popular, which is always good. Nice break from sitting around inside all day, sitting around inside with a camera on all day. Yeah, for the people who sent stuff, I will send you the Davinci Resolve project eventually, and a copy of the new unnamed LUT pack, and you can tell me which ones suck and which ones don't suck, just as I sort of refine the pack as we wait for it to come out. Yeah, signing off these is always weird. So, do I end this in OBS? Probably. So yeah, once again, thanks everyone for coming by. I probably won't do one of these next week, but maybe the week after that. In fact, I definitely won't do one of these next week. But hopefully the week after that. I like doing these, so we'll probably do them semi-regularly. And yeah. Once again, thanks everyone for swinging by. Hope you have a great day, a great weekend, yeah. And I'll see you next time.